One of the age-old questions for golfers is what should I use at the top end of my bag? I love my driver, my 3-wood's pretty good at hitting the fairway, but what should my longest iron be? Should I go 3 hybrid or should I go 3 iron? Hi everyone, my name's James and welcome back to Get Good at Golf. On this channel we try and help you get good at golf just one day at a time, and today we're going to help you decide if you should have a 3 iron or a 3 hybrid in the bag. I'm aware that I looked at totally the wrong ones there,
was going to mention it.
I know you will probably mention it, Chris, that's why I mentioned it. So guys, I've got a 3 hybrid here, and for me, I'm a hybrid player. I quite like them, although I do like a P790 UDI 2 iron as well for the versatility. Sometimes you just have to think, you know what, do I want versatility? Do I want forgiveness? What am I wanting from this club? Is there a pesky long par 3 that you just don't like? Is there a tight tee shot for a par 4 or par 5 that you don't like? Or do you just want to have something in the bag that looks good, feels good, and generally you know can perform for you if you have your best swing? You see, I put a lot of emphasis on that because your best swing isn't often your average swing, isn't often the swing you're going to produce the most often. A little more emphasis there. So guys, we're going to hit a load of shots today. I'm going to start off with the hybrid. I'm hoping to hit some good shots and some bad shots. I'll aim a bit out to the right because Chris is very brave standing there. And straight away, that's a really low bottomy one. This is interesting because I want to hit some bad shots as well as some good shots and show you guys the differences. And then we're also going to talk differences in playability, differences in how you would play these clubs, and differences in where you'd play these clubs. 187, 215 total. I should be carrying this over 200 on a good swing, although you will see it's a bit cold out here today. Oh, that's another horrible one. And this video is going just how I want it to, because guys, I want you guys to see, look at those strikes. If I strike that with this 3 iron, there's not going to be much left of my fingers because it's freezing today. Again, 178, still running out to 215. We are going to look at the carry distances more than the total distances. Chris, would you like to stand behind me for a few so I can commit to some?
I mean, if you hit me here, I'm worried.
Yeah, all right.
I don't.
Right, come on.
I thought I was safer on this side than the other.
That's a much better shot. That sounded better, felt better. That's risen up really high in the air. The worrying thing is it too high? That should carry over 200, I would hope. 205, that's more like it. You'll see the total is exactly the same because the trajectory was higher. I'd be happy with this at a 205, 210, 215 club because my 3-wood's around a 240, 250 club. It's really important that you get the gap in there. Right, let's have a couple more. I'll stop talking for a little bit. Get these carrying a bit longer. Again, a nice high fade there. I'm picturing that shot, and that's the shot that I do generally want to hit with this club because it's a club I want to be controlling. I don't want to play a big horrible raking hook there. 204 carry, 215 total. You'll see how consistent this can be when you do put some half decent swings on it. Right. Exactly the same again. I'd be betting that's carrying around 205. That's the final shot we're going to hit with the hybrid. If it's 205, I'll buy Chris's lunch. Oh, it's 204! So you can see there that as soon as I start hitting more the middle, that's not quite the middle because it's a little bit heely, but I'm still getting that element of forgiveness. The ball speed we're getting is 141. It's a lovely peak height of 92 feet, which is quite high, but that's exactly what I want. So I'm now going to change this to 3 iron, and I'm going to hope that I start swinging a little bit better because there's not going to be much left of my fingers if I swing the same. So straight away looking down, not quite as forgiving. This is a P773 iron, so there's a bit of help in it. Not too bad. It wasn't the best strike. I don't think that's going 200 yards on a cold day here at Waterfront. 205. Really, really interesting. I honestly didn't think that had. So the new P770 is designed to have a lower centre of gravity, making the longer irons easier to launch. You see that was fairly central. It didn't feel like a great strike, but I got away with it. Lower ball speed of 137. That felt really good. That felt really, really good. And this isn't how I expected this video to go, but that's why it's so important you guys do some testing like this. 201. Chris, the better swing didn't feel as good. Exactly the same ball speed of 139, peak height of 104, so that's gone even higher than the hybrid. bit of a knuckleball there, but again, it's straight down the middle of this hole. I think that's probably going to be similar. 198, again around 200. Right, so I'm going to hit 2 more 3-irons here. I'm actually hoping for a miss hit. I'm going to try and put the best swing that I can, because that's always what you do, but you'll see that this 3-iron is jam-packed full of technology. It is TaylorMade's new P770 range. Can we hit the same swing as with the hybrid? I do feel comfortable with this. I do quite like it. Maybe I am a 3-iron player after all. That's so good. That is so good. That's like peeling off to a lovely little par 3 green. I can feel it. And that's carried 208. The averages here with the 3-iron are going to be quite remarkable actually. 221 total, 140 ball speed. And even with a shorter shaft length and 1 degree more loft, I've actually hit this 3-iron quite well. Guys, let's come in here, let's take a look at the average numbers and see just what I've found here with this 3 hybrid and 3-iron. 205 again on the nose, view. So 3-iron average, as you can see, average carry 203, average total 215, ball speed 137, launch angle 12, and average peak height 95. If we move in to the 3 hybrid, you see I didn't actually carry the hybrid as far, 196, 215 total, the same ball speed average 138, average peak height 72, and I mean that's pretty much all she wrote with that. So just because a hybrid says it's more forgiving doesn't mean it necessarily suits your game. That's something that I found here today, and if I hadn't have done this video to test, I would never have known. Should I put that in the bag, Chris? I mean, one thing that's interesting, I use a P790 UDI 2-iron, so maybe I'm just more used to that than the hybrid. Do some testing for yourselves, guys, and see what works for you.
So guys, when we look down at the golf ball, that's one big thing when deciding which of these clubs to go for. So a lot of people don't necessarily like the look of hybrids. A lot of people say hybrids have got maybe worse looking over time. They've got a little bit narrower, a little bit squarer toe end on some of the hybrids.
I love that one though, Chris, because that one's almost like a elongated iron, isn't it? It's not your traditional hybrid.
Yeah, it's not as big, but it's also got a nice rounded edge. So again, it has a bit of a feel of an iron, which is the main thing. You're trying to get something that you feel comfortable down with. I use a 4-iron. I've used the 3-iron before. Again, it's dependent on how that looks down to you. It is the P770, so it is a little bit of a bigger top edge on there. It might give you some more confidence. You might be somebody who hits a little bit more down on it, so you need to think, if you hit more down as a rule, then an iron is probably going to work better for you in comparison to a hybrid, which is designed for somebody who is a little bit more shallow. For me, I've certainly found that I would prefer a 3-iron. However, I do have a different club in the bag, which I'm going to compare next week and show you the differences and which one works best for me.
If that's like 230, then I'm going to be really, really upset.
That does feel solid, to be honest. A little bit out to the right. Let's see what the distance is. 211, 224. So straight away there with my heated jacket on, not a bad number on. But again, strike-wise there, guys, and that's all dependent on where you're striking. It wasn't perfectly out of the middle. However, numbers are still pretty good. We'd take those. The peak height is good. It's going to land into a green correctly. And with these kinds of clubs, we've got to think, do you hit a hybrid or a 3-iron into a green? Do you hit them into par 5s? Which one is going to give us the best landing angle? Because the way the ball lands on the green is going to dictate whether it stays on there and we've got a putt, or if we're chipping. So right, let's have a look at the hybrid. I haven't hit a hybrid in years.
Let me just stand right in your way, Chris, because that seems to be what's...
Yeah. Right, hybrid. Oh no, it wasn't just you.
Was it bottomy again?
Very bottomy and heely.
Interesting, really interesting. It might be the weather as well, with it being a bit colder, longer shaft length, harder to...
Yeah, and I found that, a little bit of a longer shaft length.
At least I've done him with that.
Well, it's exactly the same numbers pretty much as you've got, which is interesting to show that the off-centre strikes have lost a little bit. We didn't get an off-centre strike with the iron, but is that the shaft length? Is that, again, how we like the look of that? Is that going to change how you hit that golf ball and how you are going to get better at golf? Guys, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you again at the same time tomorrow.